But what I'm more interested to know in is like, what was it like growing up, especially in NY during those times? You know, what was your experiences like from a kid up to when you first started, you know, when you went to high school and you made your influence to start rapping?
Well, there were a lot of different things going on in the Bronx during that time. You know, one of the main things that was going on was the all of the social programs that kids used to have access to and go to. You know, after school. You know, there were after school programs. You could go there. It was usually held at your school, and you know, it was after school hours, and you would usually go there. And you know, if you were a latchkey kid, meaning you know your parents work while you're home,
Right.
you would go to the after school program. You could get you know extra help with your homework. You know, they engaged us in you know different sports activities, and it was just basically a means of keeping kids off the street during the 70s. And so I believe it was Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford, I believe, was the president at the time of the United States, and New York was doing pretty badly as far as financially, and you know, the governor of New York at the time requested additional federal funding, and Ford, it made headlines. It said on the Daily News, Ford to city, drop dead. And so all of the social um, programs lost their federal funding. And so kids were turned to the street. We had no place to go. And so we wound up on the streets of New York City. And so as a result of that, um, gangs were rampant, you know, youth gangs. And so the largest gang in New York City at that time was called the Black Spades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And uh, the Black Spades, one of their territories was not far from the neighborhood that I grew up in. The neighborhood I grew up in was called Lambert Houses. Um, and so uh, the guys from the Black Spades, from the older Black Spades, would come over to Lambert Houses from Bronx River Houses, which is where Africa Bambaataa lived. And there was a division of the Black Spades that he wound up becoming the leader of eventually after he changed gangs from being, he was initially a savage nomad, and then he became a Black Spade later on.
Wow.
So after he became a Black Spade, the division of the Black Spades that were under his leadership in Bronx River Projects, they would come over to Lambert Houses and rob everything and everybody. And the only reason why they never robbed me was because I was best friends with a dude named Davy Waters. And Davy Waters' older brother, we called him Wild Man Steve. And Wild Man Steve and Davy Waters were from Bronx River.
Right.
They actually moved from Bronx River to Lambert Houses with their mom. And so when the Black Spades from Bronx River would come over to Lambert Houses to rob everybody, they didn't rob Wild Man Steve and they didn't rob Dave because they were from Bronx River, and so they didn't rob me because Dave was my best friend. But even though they didn't rob me, they kind of like sunned me.
Right.
They sunned me. So when the young Black Spades, when the baby Spades would ride over to Lambert Houses on their bicycles to extort everybody that the older Black Spades didn't rob. On the way over to Lambert Houses on their bikes, they would always take the same route, and it would be a lot of broken glass and stuff. And so a few of them would always have flat tires. So the way that they sunned me was they found out what apartment that I lived in. I lived with my mom. It was a duplex apartment. Now, my older brothers, they were killers, but they were all incarcerated. So I didn't have any protection at the time. Wow. So this gang of dudes come up to my, I had an exit door in my bedroom, which was on the 5th floor, but the front door to get in our apartment was on the 4th floor. So these guys knew that my room was on the 5th floor. So they would take the elevator to the 5th floor and walk to the end of the hall and knock on my door. And my middle name is Todd. So they would call me by my government middle name and be like, yo, Todd, fix Cecil's flat, fix Mackey's flat, fix Dolan's flat, fix Kendu's flat. And so the first time that they came and asked me, or not asked me, demanded that I fix these dudes' flats, I'm like, yo, like, fuck out of here. Like, I look like flat fix? You know what I mean? So they was like, yo, you don't get it. Like, we a gang, and you one dude. Like, we will beat your ass. You gonna fix some flats today. So I said, you know what? All right, you got a point there. All right, no problem. I'm gonna fix some flats today. All right?
Yeah.
So I fixed flat tires, fixed these guys' bicycle flats for 3 consecutive summers. Every time they would ride around Lambert Houses and one of them or a few of them get flats, they always bring it to my apartment. So the last summer that they brought their bikes up to my room to have me fix flats, it just so happened that I got down with a crew, and I started rapping, and we were giving parties, and we became pretty popular very fast. And so these guys, when they came to have me fix their flats, I heard them when they got off the elevator because they had a boombox, and they were playing a tape of the last jam of the last party that I did with my new crew called the Brothers Disco, DJ Breakout, DJ Baron, and the original Funky 4 MCs. Right? Yeah. So they're coming down the hall, and by the time they get to my door, on the tape, I'm rhyming. So I open the door, and I'm saying the rhyme with myself on the tape. And these guys are looking at me like I'm a fucking Martian or something. Like, yo, you don't know shit about like the Brothers Disco, DJ Breakout, and DJ Baron and the Funky 4 MCs. They were like, you.
I was like, wait, I'm one of them 4, but okay.
Right. And I'm like, yo, I said, yo, now I'm still saying the rhyme, but then I stop and I'm like, yo, what do you mean I don't know nothing about this? I said, that's me. And then they're like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Like surround sound, right? And so I say, yo, that is me. What are you talking about? So they say, yo, stop the fucking tape. So they stopped the tape. And one of them is like, yo, you know what? You better not fucking be lying to us. All right? Say some Rahiem shit right now. And if you're lying to us, we're gonna beat your ass.
Prove how is that not true? Prove that you. I want you to prove that you.
So now I gotta say my shit under.
I'm not gonna lie. If that was me for 1 second, I know I'll F up a little bit in the beginning. Like I'll be like, "Am I Rahiem?"
That's the real stuff. If that was like the new version of American Idol, I would watch it.
Yeah, for real. No, I would actually. No, that's real. That's it. What happens when a whole gang comes to your door with a boombox playing your shit, telling that ain't you, prove it's you. But wait, let me cut this story. That's just funny.
Yeah, you better say some Rahiem shit right now, all right? And you better not be lying, or we gonna beat that ass.
And we've got buzzers.
Right.
Process of elimination, son. Right. Process of elimination.
So I gotta say my shit under pressure.
Yeah.
I can't stutter. I can't forget. All right. So I give them like almost a whole fucking notebook full of shit.
Go.
And like their mouths hit the floor like, oh shit, yo, he's fucking Rahiem. Yo, you stupid asses. They're like, oh shit, yo, you guys are doing a jam at the T Connection in like 2 weeks. Yo, we your security. I'm like, all right, cool. Yo, my security. I never fixed another flat again.
Wow.
Yo, that's a story and a half, man. So, oh Jesus, what do you kind of follow up from that? Like, but okay, so now you've obviously now you've got your protection. You know, you've got 3 summers deep. Also, just a quick one: is that where the in the message where the lyric broken glass everywhere?
Well, I don't think necessarily that lyric came from that experience, because that was my personal experience.
Right.
But I mean, if you lived in the Bronx, that could have very well have been your experience, because there was broken glass everywhere and there was people pissing on the stairs everywhere. So
yeah.
Yeah.